Story 1. I'm Mike, American guy in my late 20s. I'm driving cross-country alone, or at least I was, trying to figure things out. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm putting it out there. The road trip in rural Nebraska turned into something I can't make sense of. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I swear I picked up a hitchhiker at dusk. I was yawning, rolling into this tiny gas station all by itself on a 2-lane highway. The pump under a flickering yellow light, wet asphalt. No other cars. I needed coffee. Then I saw him at the edge of the lot, a scruffy guy wearing a stained duffel bag over his shoulder, holding a cardboard sign that said, Kearney. I'm thinking, 90 miles. I pulled up, rolled the window down, told him, need a ride? He didn't smile, just said, thanks, climbed in. I was half asleep, but something felt off immediately. His clothes smelled of diesel and sweat, and he didn't say anything, just stared straight ahead. I kept glancing in the rear view. He was too still. I thought, maybe he's nervous. But then I saw that his eyes had this dull sheen. I turned on the radio. There was static. I fiddled with volume. His breathing was shallow. I felt a twinge. What am I doing picking up strangers? A mile later, the car died. The engine seized. I slammed it back into gear. The red engine light was on. I managed to coast to a dirt turnout. No cell signal. Great. He spoke then. I know you, he said low. I spun around. He pointed. Behind us in the road, I saw footprints. They were fresh, muddy, and four-toed. I thought maybe a dog or a raccoon, but they led toward the fields, not away. My heart was pounding. I know I didn't say heart pounding, but it felt like I was going to throw up. He leaned forward, said, follow them. What the hell? I hesitated. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I thought I heard something in the field, like whisper wind among cornstalks. He got out and vanished into the dusk. I yelled, told him to get back. No answer. I grabbed the duffel bag left on the passenger seat. It was filled with bloody bandages and a Polaroid, face blurred but male, legs twisted, dark red around him. I flicked through 2 more pictures. Same guy. Then a second person on all fours, face down in dirt with blood pooled. I couldn't breathe. I locked the door. Tried to start the car. Nothing. I sat there, shaking. The night got darker. I thought maybe the radio static was voices. I turned it off. Then I heard footsteps crunch the dirt. Someone tapping on the driver door. I looked up. It was him again. His face was different. Sunken, eyes darker. He tapped again, then whispered, you know the road leads back. I slammed my head against the wheel, thinking I hallucinated all this. I screamed, what do you want? The tapping stopped. He lowered his hand. Then he was gone. I unbuckled, opened the door. Cold air rushed. I stepped out. The asphalt felt wrong, brittle. I looked at the footprints. They continued past the car, deeper into cornfields. I forced myself to follow. Slowly, the corn whispered when the wind came. I saw shapes in the rows. At first, I thought they were stalks bending. But they looked like bodies leaning. I stumbled forward, panicked. I saw one shape upright, shirt soiled, face tilted upward, blank eyes like that Polaroid. Blood dripped from his nose onto corn husk. I screamed, collapsed. When I woke, I was back in the car. Head pounding. The guy was gone. The duffel bag lay across the back seat. I tried the engine. It started, but I felt trapped. I looked again at the Polaroids. They were gone. Only empty plastic sleeve. I raced out of there, speedometer ticking. I glanced in the mirror. In the passenger seat, I saw him, leaning over, whispering something. But when I blinked, silence. No one. I drove until sunrise, numb, confused, pulled into Kearney. I checked the duffel bag. Empty. No photos, no bandages. Was it never in the car? That day I reported the car malfunction, but they found no issue. I told them about the hitchhiker. They asked if I'd been drinking. I said no. They checked traffic cameras, lots of cars, but nobody matching his description got picked up. I'm home now, trying to process. I keep replaying the sign that said Kearney. I never asked his name. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but flashes come at night. His tapping, footprints, whispers. I know this sounds crazy, but I feel like I picked up something that shouldn't hitch rides. Maybe I let him in. I don't know. And that field? If I'd gone deeper, would I find more bodies? Or was it me making mirages? I can't go back. I don't sleep well. I drive past that stretch sometimes, just to check. No duffel, no footprints, just empty road. No closure. No monster vanquished. Just a ride I shouldn't have given. The end. Or maybe not. Story 2. I'm Ryan, American, early 30s. I was driving across eastern Oregon. Just me and my old Jeep. No destination, just the open road. That's it. No fancy intro. But the trip turned into something I can't shake. I know this sounds crazy, but I've seen footprints on hot asphalt vanish before my eyes. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I swear I saw them. Let me start. It was late afternoon, and I pulled into a roadside diner in a dusty, tiny town called Burns Junction. One booth. Me. Needed gas and a burger. I ordered. Took a few photos of the lonely parking lot with my phone to kill time. That's when I noticed an old, rusted truck parked beside mine. No driver around. I thought maybe the guy went inside. I came out with my meal, and the truck was gone. But the dirt trail was fresh. Big muddy footprints led into the scrub, like oversized human steps. Weird. I shook it off. Ate, paid, drove off. 30 miles up the highway, engine sputtered. I coasted to the shoulder. No phone service. Great. I opened the hood and nothing obvious. I leaned against the Jeep, thinking about calling AAA, wondering why I ever left the city. That's when I heard something, scraping under the truck bed. I looked under. There was a hand, dirty, pale, claws caked with mud, wrapped around a frame bolt. I stepped back, heart racing. I know I didn't say heart racing, but it did. Pulled my phone to record the sound, but then it was silent. I looked again. Nothing. Just a tangled bunch of weeds stuck to metal. I cursed my eyes, but something made me look up into the rear-view mirror. I saw a silhouette standing in the road behind me, far distance, still as a scarecrow. I blinked. Gone. I closed the hood, climbed inside, drove 100 feet, then stopped. I thought I saw footprints leading from that spot. I grabbed my jacket and walked out. The air was hot and stank like rotting sage. I followed the trail. At first it was clear, big steps. Then it faded. I started to question everything. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Maybe it was animal prints. I kept telling myself what rational people say. Then I found the truck. Same rusted one from the diner. Tires flat. Doors wide open, facing the highway. No sign of driver. I walked around it. The passenger seat was soaked with dried blood. I looked inside and saw a single photo taped to the dashboard. Me smiling in the Jeep at the diner, taken moments earlier. I don't even know how they got that photo. I backed away. My hands shook. I climbed back in the Jeep and tried to start it. It turned over. I punched the gas and burned rubber onto the road. As I sped off, I glanced in the side mirror. Silhouette standing beside that truck again. Taller than human, leaning forward. Shadows, wrong. I took the next turn off at a crossroads, sign that said, Leadville, 12 miles. As sun dipped, the shadows stretched long. I hit snow in a shaded pass. Didn't expect snow July, but the temperature dropped. Fog drifted low. I passed a small abandoned cabin at the hill's base. Lights on inside. No windows. I slowed, thought about asking for help, but saw a figure through the door frame, back turned, head slow shake, as if listening. I peeled out fast. Engine screamed, transmission shuddered. Then, silence. Total. I coasted. Cabin lights flickered out. I felt like someone exhaled behind me. Then, headlights flashed behind me. Too bright. I hit open air and looked back. The rusted truck was tailing me. Headlights off, but its outline so close, I thought it would ram me. I slammed hard on horn. It dropped back and vanished. I turned off at the next paved road ramp into thick pines. My palms sweated. I told myself maybe it's just a drunk guy following. Rational mind kicked in, but pace of my breathing was uneven. Deep in the forest, I found cell signal. I dialed AAA. Nothing. Network dropped. I looked around. The trees were silent, unnatural quiet. No birds. Then I saw footprints again, pressed into leaf litter, big and crisp. But they walked straight into a giant pine, the tree's trunk. At the base, wood shredded, bark carved, as if someone tried to claw through. Red smears on wood. I stared, then felt something behind me. Spun. Nothing but branches rustled. I ran. Jeep was down a small clearing. I reached it breathing loud. That's when I saw the rust truck parked behind it, almost touching. That beast silhouette, pressed up against driver window. No driver. I yanked door open and dove in. Engine started instantly. I floored it. Jeep jumped forward. I looked rear view. The truck limped behind, then stopped and faded like fog. I thought I escaped. Hours later, I rolled into a highway gas stop near Vale, Oregon at dawn. Bleary, exhausted, I got out and paced. No truck, no footprints, but my shirt had dried blood at the hem. My hands, small cuts. I checked mirror. The scratches match marks on tree bark. I reported car problem. No issues. Mechanic said brakes fine, engine fine, no accidents. I asked about cameras at diner. They said no memory saved beyond last 48 hours. No record of truck leaving. Now I'm home, reviewing footage from my dashcam. There's one frame before engine died, showing a dark figure in my back seat, head turned, face blacked out. Just one frame. That's it. No Polaroids or bag, just that frame. I know it sounds insane, but I've got cuts, dried blood, shredded bark. I saw steps vanish. I can't reconcile it. Maybe nothing supernatural, but something stalked me. I don't answer the phone after dark. I don't drive that highway again. I wake at night, listening. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but if I'm not, I brought something back with me. No resolution, no safe ending. Just pieces I can't fit together. I'll never know who or what that was, but I'll never drive alone again. Story 3. I'm Alex, American, late 20s. I thought road tripping across northern Idaho would be healing after everything. Alone, just me and my old pickup. And then, I got stranded. What happened next, I still can't process. I know this sounds crazy. Maybe I'm messing up the timeline or mixing dreams and reality. I swear I'm not making this up. It started when I turned off Highway 12 onto a dirt forest track after dark. The GPS said cabin 5 miles. Light rain, cabin rented for a week retreat. I was exhausted. My truck hit a rut and broke the axle. Left me stuck. No cell service. Great. I grabbed my flashlight, tent, and something to eat and started walking toward where I thought the cabin would be. The trail went uphill. Trees closed in, branches swayed, but no wind. That alone should have set off alarm bells. I kept telling myself it was nothing, but then I saw footprints in mud. Big boot prints, fresh. 2 paths, one toward the cabin direction, one back the way I'd come. I paused, thought, why would someone else be walking out here? Maybe a renter ahead or a neighbor. I followed them upward, using light sparingly. Rain softening the earth. My pace jittery. I kept saying to myself, it's fine, just someone else. But guts knotted whenever I imagined meeting someone there. I told myself, maybe I'm remembering wrong. I'd been driving all day, tired. About a half mile in, the footprints stopped at a moss-covered log beside the trail. There, scorch marks, like someone pressed a boot onto wet wood and left a muddy heat stain. And scraping along bark, I poked at it. Red smear under moss. No blood. It looked like old blood. I gagged a bit. I know this sounds crazy, but I half expected the person to step out behind me. I spun around. Nothing. Silence thick. I told myself it was animal paws or a human prank. But nobody would bring fire up here. Maybe I hallucinated. I shook my head and moved on. I stumbled on something else. An old Polaroid pinned to a tree with a rusty nail. It had me in frame, holding a peanut butter sandwich, standing by the pickup earlier that day. I don't even own a Polaroid. I dropped to my knees, tried to tear it off. The tree bark sank into my hands. The photo blurred in my fingers, as if smeared. I swear I saw something moving behind me in the dim light, like someone stepping from behind the tree. But when I whipped around, nothing but black shapes. Shaking, sweating, I pocketed the picture. I thought about turning back, walking out, but my truck was a mile behind and the rain was picking up. I forced each step forward, heartbreak, fear on autopilot. Then I saw the cabin, windows lit faintly, warm glow behind glass, but the front porch light flickered erratic, as if electricity wavering. I approached, and the door was ajar. I hesitated, my instincts screaming to run, but rational voice said, maybe someone else renting left it open. I shoved inside. Inside was empty. Living room littered with muddy footprints, leading toward a back door. On the floor was a trail of blood drops. Tiny reds stepping further inside. I gagged, backed against a wall. I remembered the scraping on the log. Internal voice whispered, someone got hurt in here. I followed slowly into a hallway. At the end, I saw a dark figure slumped in a corner, head tilted forward, bloody stains spreading beneath, not moving. My breath shallowed. Did I say that? Breathing uneven. Damn. I stepped closer. Then he lifted his head. Eyes night black, pupils gone, mouth crooked. I scrambled backward, tripped into the wall. He whispered, not words, sound like rasp. I yelled, ran back outside. Rain pounding. I sprinted downhill, guided only by memory of my truck. I thought I saw him on a branch overhead, crouched like a vulture. I screamed and kept going. Wet branches slapped my face. When I reached my truck, it was there, intact, but door hanging open, top hinge shredded. Inside, the seat cushion had a red stain. I slammed in, locked doors. Engine turned over first try. I floored it downhill. I glanced in rear view. Nothing but trees. But on the passenger seat, I thought I saw that Polaroid again. On the seat beside me. I jerked. When I blinked, it was gone. Road curved into pavement at dawn. Cell signal flickered. I called 911, but they said no reports of accidents or missing persons in that area. The forest ranger had no record of anyone renting that cabin for months, even name I booked. Now, I keep finding Polaroid photos slipped under my windshield wiper. Me at various odd angles. Me sleeping. Me standing in forests. No timestamp. All taken at night. I think. I don't know where they're coming from. My hands shake typing this. I can't sleep. I park under streetlights now, driving everywhere lighted. When I close my eyes, I see footprints on trails that end just out of sight. I wake to scraping sounds at the window. Then, silence. I know I sound paranoid. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, or mixing nightmares and day. But my jeans still have dried mud stains that match the prints. There are scratches on my truck door. Bark fragments stuck. I never saw him again after that night, but I feel watched. I've tossed the Polaroids, but they keep reappearing. On my dresser, in my jacket pocket, under sheets, all with me inside. No cops, no closure, just me carrying weird photos and the knowledge someone or something followed me out of the forest. No monster revealed, no answered questions, just unresolved fear bleeding into every photo taken, like it's still out there,